What have you been up to, Prasanta?
Oh, me. Well, to be honest, it has been a good vacation, semester break, but unfortunately, I had an accident. I fell down and while celebrating Christmas with a group of close friends and families, and I fell down and went to the hospital and was a very unfortunate event. But then the good thing is I'm still alive. I feel much better.
When you fell down, how quickly were you able to snap back into reality after you woke up?
I still have been trying to find out how long I was unconscious. Mm-hmm. The human life is so strange. Mm-hmm. You have no control. This is my life. This is my body. And I still have no control that I should not fall down. And my memory should be there. This is the first time I experienced that. I think between the time I fell down and then, I don't know, they call the ambulance and hospitals and all that thing. And then they took me to the hospital and then they did all this stitching. I had 32 stitches, which must have taken at least 30 minutes.
But you don't remember any of it?
I don't remember any of that.
So you fell and hit a building?
A wall.
Just a wall?
I fell into an edge of a wall.
So you hit the corner. Yeah, okay.
And then they had the wooden piece at the bottom, and that's what I did.
What do you think caused you to go?
From my mouth here all the way, there's a hole here. And then,
What caused the unconsciousness, though?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure it out, and that's what the neurologist at Carl, I kind of trust her, what she said, but she's trying to, look at the whole situation. So, that the morning, it was 24th, right? And, everything, gym is closed at noon.
Yeah.
Maybe you were there, I don't know. You were not there. Yeah. So I went there. I went to Starbucks, had my coffee, and then I did about 10 miles of walk. I got my steps.
Just the average day.
Yeah, just an average day. Nothing
different.
Nothing different. Nothing insignificant or any significant. Then my son called me, said, "Dad, go to the Dave's Hot Chicken and pick up some good lunch." He likes spicy food. I went there, got the food, and we had. Then I took shower. I think I watched a movie. He was watching some game. And then at 6 o'clock, we go to this friend's house. And in 10 minutes, I fell down.
Really?
Dang.
I had no idea. And that's what makes me realize things in life are not guaranteed. And no matter how much you know, how much you do you be careful with your exercise and good food, things still can happen.
That's right.
So there is always that uncertainty which we as human beings, we don't know.
I'm curious, did that make you go, want to change things? Like say, I don't know, but were you like not spending a bunch of time with people? Did that make you want to spend more time with people or want to, do more things? Because you had that flash that it could all be over now, anytime.
I know, that's a very good question because I thought about it. I thought maybe I should not have even gone to that party.
Right.
If I stayed at home, I love my recliner. I sit there and, we'll be watching a movie or a Netflix or a show. I was watching, in fact, that medical show called New Amsterdam. It's a very good show, very good medical show. I was watching that. And then I would have been okay, but then I would have missed my friends.
Right.
And then these are wonderful friends. They care about you, and they're all in the hospital. And even yesterday they called, "Can we bring some food for you?" I said, "No, I am okay." And I want to get back to my real life ASAP. You know,
Right.
and that's why I started going to the gym and all that. But my doctor said, don't exert yourself. If you feel tired, because they don't know, is there a class here? Probably not. No. So the doctor said, if you feel any tired, little bit, stop it right. Hey, Tony! Sorry, can you stop? Oh, they gone. But anyway. So, I haven't feel, but yeah, my very first week, right after that, I felt a little tired after about 5 miles of that. And then, so yesterday my friend told me, and the professor, he said, you are such a small person. And I don't eat much. Your output in the gym is much more than what you are eating. So that may be a reason I don't believe that. You know, people have their own
Beliefs.
freedom of express. They can
Yeah.
say whatever, but I like that they are at least telling me something. In fact, another professor, he's in mathematics, he told me the same thing yesterday. You should cut down your regular 10, 15 miles of the thing. And I say, yeah. But then I sleep comfortably. I feel tired. My night goes by without waking up. I don't get any dream,
Right.
you know. So I think that exercise must be doing something good to me. And
It does. Oh, yeah.
It always does. You know, who
Health
can...
is wealth, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exercise is huge. It's sad, when you go to the doctor, most times they don't go, hey, if you exercise, that could help a lot of things.
Exactly. And my doctor, my primary physician is wonderful. And so at one time I was asking her, the way that I do 10 to between, at that time I was doing like 17 miles and I got some problem in my feet. Is it bad? And she said, have you heard anywhere that exercise is bad? And she's absolutely right.
Right.
I fully
Yeah.
trust my primary physician. So, but I reduced it from 17 to 20 miles. One day I was limping and Queen says, oh, something wrong with your feet. And I said, what could be? I forgot that term. It's called something. Shin
splits.
Shin split. That's what it was. And it was. After that day, I brought it from 17 to 12. And now much better. So I try to always maintain around.
You listen to your body. What it tells you.
Exactly.
Listen, you know?
I mean, you have to listen to it.
That's right.
I think your body is your best God.
Mm.
It tells you. It tells you. When you get tired,
a lot of
your
people
body-
think of your body as a temple, or like a vehicle. Like that's a good way. If you wanna keep your vehicle going for a long time, you do maintenance on it. You make sure it's all good and the oil's changed and the tires are good. And
absolutely.
same thing you should do with your body.
You are absolutely right. And one thing we always have to keep on top of our mind is our life, which is controlled by our body mostly. Body is a physical thing, but mind
It's controlled by the brain.
I was gonna say. I was
brain.
gonna ask you. Do you think your body and mind is controlled more mentally or physically?
Both.
Both.
You have to. If you cannot walk, let's say you don't have your legs. That body that is controlling your mind will be totally different than when you are running marathon.
Right, but when paralyzed people, you hear them all the time. They say that they feel their leg moving, but there's no leg moving.
They, when they're paralyzed, they probably, I don't know enough, but I think they make their therapy session make them feel like they're moving.
Yeah.
With all the sessions that they do in the therapy, in the doctors and the physical therapy, they put them into a regular habit of doing exercise so that their mind is moving,
Right.
and they don't feel that they don't have the leg, which is a wonderful thing, and which is
So
wonderful
it's
way.
kinda like
What's really strange is, say you have someone who had their leg amputated, and they say that all they can feel is just an itching sensation.
Yeah.
That where their leg used to be is just a
Itchy.
full-on itching sensation. And what fixes that is it's almost tricking the brain. It's almost like a placebo effect. They put a mirror, right? Like they put a mirror so their actual leg is mirroring their, say they lost their left leg. It's mirroring the left leg. And if they scratch their right leg and they're able to look at the mirror and see that the left leg is being scratched, the itching just goes away. The itching just stops. It's just it's tricking the brain.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing to
and
know.
It's like if you use
If you ever lose your leg.
right. I keep that in mind, just in case you ever need to use
I
it.
haven't, you haven't, and my heart cries for people, like our army and our first responders. When things happen to them, my heart cries. I don't want them. I want them to have 5 legs, so that if they lose 2, they still will have more. Who knows? 50 years from now, when the new human, the kids will be born.
Do you think they're going to look differently?
I think so. Here.
Well, isn't there a thing where almost, I could be completely wrong about this, but it's almost like ethnicity and race, like the differences between them are almost starting to dissipate. Like people are getting more and more similar.
Uniformized.
Yeah.
It is, because culturally,
Yeah. We're starting, it's more like
Okay.
a mixing pot.
100 years ago, if you will not be talking to me because I'm brown, and I will not be talking
Yeah.
to you because I'll think, oh, you are the sir. Like that's what the British told Indians, right? I mean, but anyway, right now, look at that.
Right.
The world had changed, and now we all have become friends and brothers. Even there are intercaste marriages happening.
Right.
And like
That's not even that rare. That's common.
very common.
That's very common.
Very common. Now, when I work at the university, as in the academic program dean, we realized that people identify them as black and white, and many are biracial or
Many are
Right.
mixed.
Yeah,
They'll say
mixed. Lots.
Yeah, they don't even say that,
Yeah.
but
Because
there
so-
are many. There are many now. They say you go to even like bigger cities like New York or LA, you see so
Yes.
many multiracial couples.
And if you do that, you go back even 60 years, you're gonna turn your head. You're gonna do a double look, and you're gonna call those people some nasty words.
Exactly. But and why did that happen, and what made us change? I think it's education and exposure. It's education, people, because
I think that's completely right, because the big thing that really turned people away from slavery, I think it was Uncle Tom's Cabin, where a slave would be able to tell his story, because they never had a voice.
Right.
See, if you wanna have power over people, never give them a voice.
Right.
Because what's more powerful than words? Absolutely nothing. So as soon as they got their words out, it just completely changed people's mind.
Exactly.
I mean, people back then probably didn't view slavery as a bad thing,
No.
because they probably didn't know the true horrors of it.
When people classify something good and bad, I never say that, good or bad. It's because we are not exposed to that topic.
Right.
The racial issues and all those things that people do not feel that, because this is how life is to be.
Yeah.
And you and I think every human being, when something is taken away from my normal routine, I feel like, oh, that's not right. Right? Everybody feels that.
Because
The kids every day eat a candy, and suddenly you stop giving the kid a candy, the kid will be upset.
Because change is uncertainty.
And
what
nobody likes
What do we
change.
hate more than uncertainty?
Nobody
What do
likes
we-
change.
We hate nothing more than not knowing. Humans have such an innate sense of needing to know everything.
Absolutely.
Having every answer. Is there a God? What happens after we die?
Yeah.
This and that. And if we change something, well, now we got to change what we know. Now we got to start thinking differently. And, well, am I really going to like that?
Yeah. And then what comes with change? A lot of uncertainty and fear.
Yeah.
And we don't want the fear. We, especially human, among all the living beings, we think that we are the supreme creature,
We think
right?
we think
We have a
we're-
brain, we can
we're
think
the top
about.
dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we have already determined how my life will be tomorrow, next year, the year after, in 10 years from now? Because we have that path in our mind.
Do you think that we have free will to do as we choose, or are we predetermined? Do we have a predetermined destiny?
No. I used to think it's a predetermined destiny, and here is like my parents would say that God has written everything for you the day you were born.
God's written some pretty messed up stories.
I don't want to say no to that, and I don't want to fully support and say that's true. Because you know what? I have seen both ways. People have changed their fate. People work hard and change their... look at people like Elon Musk. He comes from South Africa, right? He had a little bit property. His father did all this little bit of illegal activities, and then he's the richest man today.
Yeah.
If he did not do that thing, God did not write that thing.
What do you think caused him to do it?
That I haven't read enough about him, but I think it's the power of money,
control,
the power of money, and the power of doing things.
Yeah.
Now, for example, Elon Musk probably is thinking he has so much power, he can overdo even what President Trump does.
Well, in a way, he's kind of earned that with what he's done with his companies and how he has this ability to just catch rockets.
Right.
Countries don't even have that ability.
Right.
I think his ego is getting a little too big right now.
It is,
But does he has no reason for not to get that big.
No,
like,
but
if you look at it
that's
from Elon
what,
Musk's perspective, he has every right to be a narcissist.
But that's what takes in our society, in our humanity, when people take that path, then we think that showing off or not doing the right thing, because he had the power, he had the money, he had all the whole world resources, being the richest man. $412 billion or something like that I saw last night. You can still be a good person. You can still you can still
humble.
Be saying that humble. The basic human qualities. What are basic human qualities? You can work hard, you still be honest, and you still be kind to other people.
If you look at ancient religions, ancient texts, they all. Look at the 7 Commandments. It's you don't want to be pride is something you shouldn't have.
That's what God always tells us.
Right.
Don't
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I think there's a correlation between the 10 Commandments and the basic moral compass we have as humans.
Yeah, absolutely. It has. Yeah.
Religion's such an interesting thing to me. Where I get lost is that all these religions say sort of the same thing, but they all have a different. They have a different story, or there's a few different things in all of them.
I like this discussion because not many young people will say all religions say the same thing. I believe, and I'll tell you what my father, my father has a Russian origin. Maybe I told you that, maybe I did not.
I think so.
If
you look at my last name, Kalita, that originates in Moscow, Russia.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there are few people, about 12 men, no women. They walk out of Moscow, went west, and then entered India. All they wanted to do is convert people to be Orthodox. But then people don't. You come to a big country in India and try to convert. They keep kicking you, right?
Yeah.
So they keep them kicking, pushing. So these people went from Western India all the way and went down and settled in the eastern border of India, between India and Myanmar. And that's why if you look at people of my culture, my name, that's where you see, I don't know if these people might have something. Should I go and ask them? So people moved there, and so if you look at internationally in our, there are people of my last name you will only find in that part of India.
Do you think religion as a whole for society, just kind of all humankind, has been a net positive or a net negative for humanity?
Positive.
Always positive.
I agree.
And why I say that? I mean, since I'm not very religious, we always talk about it. And I kind of raised my son like that. And my father raised us like that. He told us, accept everybody. He comes from a different, Christian-based Orthodox thing, and then we became Hindus. Totally different.
Yeah.
And then, surrounded by Muslims and all this kind of thing. Then I had a student here at Illinois. She is a tall, blonde lady. She's the department head at Iowa right now, Amy. And Amy told me, Prasanta, you know the history of Kalitas? I said, no. He said, my grandmother knows. They are apparently the very rich community, these Kalitas. They're very rich, but they never spend money for others. And that's the meaning of Kalita. I felt bad that we are really bad people. But then the other group, most of the other Kalitas from Moscow, they came and they settled down in Pennsylvania in the US. So now, if you go to Chicago, sometimes you see Kalita Airlines. These are very rich communities out there.
Right.
I wish I went with them rather than going with the group that went to India. But regardless, so coming back, religion, when the society at that time, if you studied and you will continue to study, how people started forming communities. First they needed water and food, right? So you see all this civilization that started it where next to a river, where there's a good soil, that people can put seed and then something grows, or they can hunt and all that thing. And then religion is such a beautiful thing that has civilized those group. If we didn't have religion, now I think, and it's my opinion, and I'm not going to defend it, I think it's what we call it culture now. That culture, but 200 or 2,000 years ago, you couldn't say culture. You have to say something that people are afraid of, that people will abide by. Because there was no law, there was no constitution, and you just say, we should do this, we should do. No. Everything you have to, those, every religion, they have to say, if you don't do this, God will punish you.
What about the Native Americans who didn't worship a god, rather worship the land?
Which is a god. That's
something, it's no...
It's just something bigger than you.
Exactly. It's not God or angel, or it's something that has control over you.
Yes.
The Native Americans, you see that in movies, oh my gosh, they have all these talks and mantras that they say. They have beautiful culture, their own. Exactly. So something that you have to, what those people did that, and this is how I think they civilized us, the all human, with a name that there is something bigger than you, like what Zach said, and something they have control of your life.
Yeah.
No matter how much money you have, the kings and all the powerful, rich people out there, they still needed God at some time, because when they're little, I have read many stories where some of the kings, very powerful, they have conquered the whole country, but when their only son was sick, will cry and pray God.
Right.
So that superiority feeling disappears when you need
hope.
Your nearest and dearest ones, that thing. So, and I think those people that with more power and more prosperity, when common people saw that, even they believe in God or something that unfolds, unseen or never seen, that it slowly gets to because it's an adaptation thing. Religion is an adapt. You just adapt and start believing. Belief is a thing that you cannot prove it with math.
I agree with you that you need a something bigger than you. You need something out there that's more than just what we have. But I think that's separate from religion. I think having, 'cause I wouldn't say what the Native Americans had was a religion. I wouldn't call it that.
That I think I would call that their culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
when you have a religion, then you have conflicts. You have rules. A lot of these religions, they have people who are under
But
them.
who created those? The religion itself, or at the beginning, the reason the rules were created is just to follow a norm of a society.
But what if those norms are harmful?
It has been. There
Yeah, yeah.
Many norms have been harmful, but that it benefited the powerful people they had the power at that time. I went to Jerusalem to see that where Jesus Christ was, just put under that and all the thing, and it's what a beautiful feeling. What a beautiful feeling.
When you go to those places and you're in these really these places that have a lot of history and a lot of that energy behind them. Do you feel a certain different way when you walk there? When you put your feet on the soil, do you feel that?
I do.
Right.
But not everybody does.
Right.
Because you have to really, when I go to this, like I have been to almost every religious and then the best places of worship. I went to the best churches, I went to the best mosque, I went to the best temples, I went to the best, the Jewish, all out there.
Synagogue.
Synagogue. Whenever I go to those, I just don't feel myself different than anybody else. I just say, I am one of whoever this God that believe it. I just believe that I am one of the.
You feel a part of something.
I feel part of it.
Yeah.
Whole almost.
Always I do,
Yeah.
and because I don't. I am born in a Hindu or Christian or here or why nothing. And the same thing I told my son. Whenever you go to a place of worship, just worship. Doesn't matter. Don't try to find justification why you should be there, because then you nullify the purpose of going there. Here you come to a place of worship, and whatever it is, and then you have to totally surrender yourself. And I feel that, I always cry. Wherever I go to those things, you will see, if you are with me, you will see my tears are going to come out through because I surrender myself.
They're not sad.
I surrender myself. No, it's not sad cry. It's just like a fulfillment.
Right.
Something that it feels so good about it. And so, I totally agree, religion and culture. And, I'm not an authority to talk because you have to study a lot.
Yeah.
All those, the whole.
But everyone has an authority to speak on religion. That's the thing.
Absolutely. Your experience.
Yes.
I can tell my experience. You can tell your experience. But that, and my experience probably significantly differ than those who read a lot about religion. I haven't read much about. Mine is just from my lived in experience.
Yeah.
I haven't written a book. I haven't followed very clearly and very with a good sense of dedication in all that thing. But I think religion makes people or now culture. The word culture probably was created a lot after religion was created. This is my opinion, because I thought, without religion and without a fear of something, that if you don't follow, you're going to lose something that dear to your heart. And we still do that. What if someone gets sad, we still say, oh God. First thing that comes off your mind, there are two things. One is, oh mom, and oh God. There are two things, because look at that. The mom created you.
Right.
And the God protects you. So those things come up.
The God is good, but I think, again, when you get into religion, a lot of negatives come out of it. So in the Bible, it's almost anti-religion, because in the Bible, it says that God perfectly created his covenant. And all you need to do to be a part of that is worship God. All you got to do to be a part of that is surrender yourself to God. Fear God. Okay, that's what it says in the Bible. And it says anybody that tries to say that you need to do this, you need to get baptized to be in the religion. That's going against God's covenant because that's mankind trying to perfect something that God already made. That's mankind. I think religion is mankind putting its own spin on the already created covenant.
If I would have written a book, this would have been that would be my piece. I said that, I think it's in any religion, what we said, and you don't need to go every day to the church. Mm-hmm. You can worship God from anywhere. And which I do. I don't follow any particular faith. But
you don't follow any particular religion, but yet you have a sense of something higher.
Yeah, but then how do I know I'm right? And that's why I keep that flexibility. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because a lot of people have spent thousands of years in defining what means to be a Christian, what means to be Jewish, what means to be a Muslim.
That's them putting their own spin on God's
People have
covenant.
done it, and then within those religions, people have criticized. They're like
within those religions, people get divided, and they get it's basically it's tribal instincts.
Yes,
people get put into tribes with religion, and they see a different tribe, and they feel threatened by it.
Right.
See, my opinion is religion has been easily a net negative. I think it's completely disregarded the word of God. It's done nothing but divide people because Catholics, we don't like the Christians because we're different here.
But not everybody.
Not everybody, but
like
the tribe.
You go and talk to the Pope in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is, whoever becomes that probably is the heart of gold or diamond. They probably don't have any sense of bad feeling for any religion. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter, what other religions are there. So we human, and from time to time, and over how many years we have survived, a few thousand years.
A lot.
that has twisted a lot of things. That has twisted. In every religion you will find that. Mm-hmm. So, but
how many wars do you think have been started over religion?
All the wars are on religion.
Exactly.
All the wars happen. Exactly. But then those are creations of not the religion. Those are creation of our greed, it's our jealousy, and our negative feeling, and our power, our greed for power. That's why those things have been created.
Yeah, I would say it's just been used to divide. So even it's still happening today. It's been happening since the dawn. I mean, when we first colonized here, we said, those Native American savages, they don't know God, and we're gonna try to convert them, but if they don't, we're just gonna have to kill them. But
things have changed.
Yeah.
The same, very similar
Have they really
people.
changed?
Very similar people.
Look at the Middle East still. What are those wars? They are about thousands of years of history about religion. So have they really changed?
Yes. If they haven't changed, we will be killing each other today.
We are.
But not everybody.
Right.
People are criticizing those who are, going the unconventional way of killing a religious group or anybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. That's a beautiful thoughts that you said, and I always think about it. But I also know that if 1% of our 8 billion people does something bad, not necessarily everybody is doing a bad thing.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah.
So people things that is happening, in the Middle East or anywhere else. I think there are things happen everywhere. Happen for a reason by some people that probably do not understand, and people do that for their own, greed and power, and sometimes they do that just to get rid of some oppression. That's what happens.
Is it them trying to take away the oppression they feel from God?
Not God. Not from God. I think, I don't know enough, but I think nobody put a blame that I got this because God made me do this.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think people have blamed God for things.
Boy,
for sure.
But people blame it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think on the bigger scale,
Mm-hmm.
you think what we believe in God, no religion will ever tell you to hurt anybody, harm
Yeah.
anybody.
Right,
And no God will tell you, any religion.
I don't know if that's because in the Bible it allows slavery. It's just you have stipulations. Is slavery is enslaving someone, not harming them?
Yeah. Well,
Well, in the Bible it allows it. So in that religion, slavery is allowed. So they're allowed to harm those other people.
but those are written by somebody. These are not
Those,
the God's
yeah,
thought.
that's what I'm saying. So again, religion is man-made. Religion is not God.
Of course.
Religion is
Of
man-made. It's
course.
putting
It
its
is.
own spin on God's covenant.
It's
So-
exactly what we
so-
said.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
it's been a net negative.
But it's not a bad connotation or negative. Most of these things were put together by the community leaders, those who were respected,
Mm-hmm.
those who had better things to say, better things to teach, and they're good people. Whoever written like our all the religious books or guidance, or they created
Mm-hmm.
God's image. These are good people. But then, you also think that our whole human civilization went through ups and downs millions of times.
Yep.
When everything goes up, good things happen.
Yeah.
When everything goes down, bad things happen.
Mhm.
Killing and
It's a cycle.
yeah, it's a cycle that goes. But look at that, as the religion and culture are merging. It was totally different. He has a religion, he has a culture. But now, those two terms are merging to point at something together.
Do you think culture is getting better?
Culture is an evolving thing. Religion is not an evolving. Religion is kind of people define.
Yeah.
But the culture is an evolving. It changes.
Yeah.
It depending on the societal need. Like black and white people are getting together. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
not a religious thing.
Right.
Because it comes with people's understanding and how they want to be in a society. So that's how I think the culture is evolving. Culture always changes.
Yeah.
Religion do not change. Religion,
Right.
to me, I think the creators kind of put a solid foundation, which not necessarily is a good thing. I don't want to say that it's a bad thing either, but I think at least we have something very solid foundation to go from.
Yeah.
But when you look at when Americans first came, when America first, colonized America,
like the
for
Europeans,
religious- for religious freedom, because they created all kinds of different own versions of their religion.
Yes,
so
of
many,
course.
so many new religions
Of course.
were created.
I know.
Is that not religion
I
changing?
did not know before I came to America that there are more than one Christian denomination.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Which is
I-
weird.
I-
You
Everybody
wouldn't.
is Catholic.
I just
You wouldn't-
recently learned about
You
that.
wouldn't
So.
think there would be. You wouldn't
Yeah.
think that we would have
No,
the
no.
Christian
No, you
religion.
do.
You
Because
wouldn't
that's
think
humans.
we'd have the Catholic religion.
Yes,
You
no.
think we would all just be united under God.
No.
But we're
that
not.
Makes
We're
total
united
sense.
under Christianity.
No,
yeah,
because
it makes
look at it. Okay, God
Uh-huh.
gave us this foundation of religion. It's a foundation. It's something we can build off of, which our culture is what is built off of religion. What are our parents? Our parents give us this foundation.
we're
They
not
teach us
supposed to
this
build
way.
on God's foundation. God's foundation
Well,
was perfected by God.
no.
Human was made in sin. Human was made in error. How is something that was made in sin and error supposed to build upon a perfect foundation already set by God?
Because nothing's perfect. There is no perfect.
God's
God didn't
yes.
make perfect.
Yes, he said he made, it says in the Bible, he made his covenant. God made the covenant. God made his covenant that you're either in or you're out.
But
okay?
that's also
And he made
that's also
the
a
perfect-
human's perception of that.
It is a human perception. I have to agree with that. But also, either you are in and out, but people also exchange. People change their
Right.
mind.
Yes.
And they go,
That's
and
what I'm
then,
saying.
Yeah, there are many people. Why there is a significant number of people on this planet. They keep changing.
Yes.
Oh, I was I have a colleague. He was born as a Christian, then he became something else, and now he is a Jewish. So this is the good thing that human can try. Wherever they see that, maybe if I take that path, if I follow those roads, then I will probably have better life, or maybe better. My father, here is how exactly he used to tell us about the religion. He said, you know what? Because we are from a small village, and then we have a bus station or train station, and he said, does everybody go through the same road to the bus station? No. Here is the bus station, and there is a road here. My father said, that's God.
Yes. Right.
We follow different ways, and most of the time, here is a road goes all the wavering, and then people have figured it out. Let me cut through this.
It's like campus.
But you know what the problem is with that? So a guy on this road will see the road, and he'll see someone on this road, and he'll say, this road is wrong. We have to destroy this road.
We always do that.
But there's not supposed to be roads. See, the problem I have with the completely...
Then how do you get to your destination?
By fearing God. That is what the destination is. You get to heaven by fearing God. That is what is lost in society. You are supposed to have you're supposed to fear God, okay? And all these other religions...
That's what is God about, you have to fear.
Yeah.
See,
but
here
all these
is
they're taking that away. They're saying you don't get into heaven by fearing God. If you're Jewish, you get into heaven by coming and praying in the synagogue. If you're Christian, you get into heaven by telling this priest your sins and getting your head dunked in water. But that's not right. You get into heaven by fearing God.
Those are when culture came into that, because these are rituals. If how do you distinguish between religion A to B, C, D by following those rituals? And that's why you do the baptism, every religion has the Muslims.
The problem with it is everyone thinks theirs is right, and they want to destroy every other one which is wrong.
That's what is the human inefficiencies.
Yeah, because we put those roads, we built our own roads.
Exactly.
The human built their own roads, and they're wrong.
Exactly.
They're not the right roads.
I don't think you can...
I don't want to say they are not right or wrong. But what I want to say, from my experience again, because we select or we showed our preference for our own individual benefit. Like you said, people don't go by that road. That road will never take you to God.
Yeah.
It's a wrong one. But is that true? God didn't say
right.
that.
Yeah, how
God
do you know?
didn't say that.
Yes.
It's that community that lives there, because they found shorter distance. Come here, take this path. It will take you directly to the God.
Yeah.
But the other ones that everywhere else, we really, we are like 6 brothers and sisters. We really loved our dad. He was never a very fanatic religiously, but he said, religion is the one that makes our civilization sustainable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you believe that, believing in God means, what is it like?
Well, that was almost, Napoleon had a quote. He said that if you give people religion, they won't revolt.
Mostly, right? But they have. People have revolted.
Yeah.
But that makes religion brings the good qualities of a human out.
Does it?
It does, I think. Does.
I think there's some examples of it does, but again, we went and killed all the Native Americans because is that a good quality?
We have done, but it's not because of religion.
Does it bring out more good? It is because of religion. It's because these Indians didn't have the same religion as us, so we wanted to destroy it.
Is it because of that, or because they didn't have the power? Did we kill them because they didn't have the same Christian religion, or because they, to those civilized Christians that came from Europe?
If they had the same religion, if they were already Christians, they wouldn't be allowed to kill them.
Oh,
What?
There has been Christians killing
Christians,
There
yeah.
has been Islamic people killing Islam.
Yeah.
It has happened. There has been Hindus killing Hindus.
Yeah.
Always happened that. I think when it comes to killing, it's the dominating. Who has the power?
Yeah, power.
Who can do that? And,
Right.
but again, you may be right. I'm not totally negating your thoughts. But my understanding is people who, when you gets to that dominating, it's the question of power and resources.
My thing is like, okay, so wars. This written text, which is what we call religion, that we think came from God, the text is not telling you to go to war.
No.
Right? It's not. It's a text. It says, hey, this is a good way to live your life. This is what this religion says is how you should live your life. It doesn't say you should kill your neighbor or you should start a war with a different country. It doesn't say that.
No.
Religion is not starting wars.
No religion tells that.
Right.
Before I didn't
In the
know-
Muslim religion, if you blow yourself up, you go to heaven to 72 virgins.
No, but they also say that, my Muslim friends told me something like that if you don't believe in Islamic, then you become a kafir. And kafir means you will go to hell.
Mm.
But I don't think the Islamic religion says that. It's a manipulation
Not all
of
of them.
their preachings.
Some extremist
Yeah.
Islamic, some human-made Islamic religions will say that.
Every religion has that.
Yeah.
Every religion has that thing. I'm from India,
Mhm.
and India is 1.4 billion people, maybe 1.3 billion are Hindus. But there are extreme. There are, they don't support other religion. They don't, they don't like the minority Muslims or minority Christians. So they always have some violent attitude.
You wouldn't have that. You would not have that if they weren't you would not have that spite. You would not have that minorities if instead we were united under the fear of God and not united under religion.
But if that was the case, wouldn't God make us born with that innate fear of God no matter what?
No, because He gives us free will.
As soon as we are born, like all this, we put the iron thing on our bulls that what breed it is. Here is the deal. This world has 9 billion people. There is no way so many people can live under one umbrella.
Yeah.
Plus, the human developments will not happen if we do not have different sects, different religions,
opinions.
and all. Yeah, and different opinions.
Right.
That's another thing. So, the way, and maybe it's the creation of God, the way that us people to be different and not to believe in everything that our one religion said or our priest told us to be. And if we all believed in that, we will not have this scientific technological development. We won't have cell phone.
Right.
We still say, oh, this is how we still will communicate with our neighbors, right? So I think when there is it's called critical thinking would not have been developed, the new ways, new innovations, and not scientific. I mean, all your theological innovation, your philosophical innovations would only happen, I think, when we have differences of opinion. And initially, okay, when there was a king, you say different opinion. Like, your head was there. You've seen these British movies, and then the big X, because you say something that
That's different.
the king doesn't believe, you are slaughtered.
Yeah.
But we moved away from those now.
Right.
Now
We live
world,
in the most safe society that we have ever had before.
and it will continue to be.
Correct.
It will continue to be safer. And and some people might say that,
We are the least religious we've ever been.
True. But that's the thing. I don't think it's about religion. I think it's about.
Yeah, but is it because of now? I think there is still in the world the highest number of people in the religion. I think number one is Christian.
Yeah.
And I think second is Muslim. Maybe?
Second is it's a close second. Now it's Muslims catching up.
Muslim catching up, yeah. But then
Really?
I have, I don't care. I might be a very small minority, but that's okay. I live by
You don't care because you don't devote yourself to a specific religion. That's why you don't care.
Yeah.
Because you're not
Should
boxing.
I be?
No, you shouldn't box yourself in like that.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's wrong. Having a specific religion is wrong. It's boxing.
No.
It makes you spiteful towards
But
others.
here is what my counter argument is. I agree what you said, the philosophically absolute. But how many people on this planet, out of this 8-9 billion, how many people had the opportunity to learn the way I have got that opportunity?
Yeah.
90% people are struggling for food
Yeah.
and water and disease.
They don't have time to look into all these other religions. It's different,
the opportunity, go to school or whatever. How will the world move into that direction if we didn't have that? Religion is the cheapest way, most non-expensive way to teach people the good thing.
Yeah.
I think. This is how I think. So I may not have boxed myself in a religion, but at least I understand the purpose of the religion. I believe in the greater philosophy of religion, but a common farmer that lives in somewhere in Ghana, how will you convince them that they have to do these good things if there is no fear? I think religion. Without religion, we cannot convince people unless those people all, go and read and experience.
Well, Charles Darwin convinced a lot of people of evolution, and that was the most anti-religion thing there was.
Yeah, but it's the true thing. What Darwin said, how...
and people didn't want to admit it was true because it went against their religion.
Every time you bring a new theory, Galileo was punished because he said the earth is round, or it's not the sun moves around the earth, but the earth moves around the sun. So he was punished many years. Everything, all those things happened for a reason.
That is interesting because a lot of people who have this and look through history, who have this new way of looking at, say astronomy. And you say which way the planets work, how the planets work. The guy who said that we think the planets currently work, when he brought that idea up, everyone thought he was crazy.
Oh, exactly.
He was so wrong.
It's the law of society. I don't know what you call a law. The law of society is anytime someone tries to tell something new and that is not in our usual social circles, we always punish those people.
Yeah. How many cultures and societies do you think have been destroyed due to conflicting religions?
Many.
Most.
It's evolution.
Yeah.
Many things have. Many of them have never made it to the books or written in any written form. Who knows?
We've lost insurmountable amount of history because people of conflicting religions.
Yeah. Not only that, how many times those powerful kings have changed the history?
Right. Yeah.
We don't know that. Right? Things have happened.
I mean, kings have made religions about themselves.
Yeah. The Bible, the last version that was written from King Henry James III or something. I'm curious, Nolan, are you saying that you should look at every religion and take what works for you?
No, I'm saying you should have a fear of God and to live a good life, to be a good person. You don't need to not wear certain texture of clothes on your body.
Absolutely.
You don't need to go get your head dunked. And I think God birthed us with just a sense of morality. We were born. Study with kids.
God did not tell us that you need to follow that or dunk in your head in the water.
But religions do.
These are rituals to follow certain religion. Because,
but they're man-made.
Of course, because who followed those religions? The man.
And I think it was man-made. It was made by a man looking for power.
Not one man. It was debated probably thousands of years.
Yeah.
Like a group of people, those wise people. Let's put it there. Let's put some respect to those, the priest and the high. They did not do that because when they work together, the whole group, they debate, sometimes they kill each other, might have, and then they came up with what is best for that time. what was best for that time. Okay, if we don't do baptism, how you will differentiate between a Christian and a non-Christian?
Why do you need to difference? Why is this got to be a difference?
You don't need, but these are the rituals to identify, to level yourself as a Christian. Though there are politics because at that time.
I think the labeling is when it becomes an issue. The labeling is when it becomes tribal.
Absolutely, but my feeling is those are disappearing slowly and slowly. But religion is such a thing. It's very difficult to modify that and not take the level off of that. It'll take years, my friend. It'll take years, but it's going to happen because when people understand each other, when they're psychologically become very powerful, I think then they'll say, you don't need to wear that certain dress, or you don't need to have your hair that way, or you don't need to have, Bob has to have that big thing on. Those will disappear. But we are not there yet. How many years we have been existing as a human society? And we haven't reached or arrived at the end of our thing. It's continue. Our development and our culture, our rituals continue to evolve. A lot of things have changed. I'm sure, in all our current religions, the way people did things in 100 years, and they are not doing the same way. There has been a lot of change, and it will continue change. And what brings those changes? When people feel with their heart that, no, I think we need to change this.
Right.
And then, so religion is a little more rigid, but the culture is evolving. So I think, and there will always be these interactions of religion and culture and all these things. So things that make me very happy that people continue to do evolving thing. Because before that, I'm sure if you're in one religion A, you probably will never be able to be accepted in religion B. But now think about that.
Yeah, it's changed.
It changed immensely. It changed. That's the good part.
I think a good question that we should ask around this topic is, what is the meaning of life?
Oh, that's the basis of the whole.
Is that why we have religion? Because we wanted to figure out the meaning of life, and every religion is just saying this is the meaning of life, this is the meaning of life, this is the meaning of life. I think that the meaning of life is figuring out what works for you, and the end goal is just to be comfortable in your skin and comfortable with your world around you, and not
the best way to put it, the meaning of life is to enjoy the passage of time.
Yes, thank you.
Easily. That's the best way to describe it.
That's the simple ways, and very,
time.
very easy way to. You're absolutely, and that's why, in order to do that, we need the help of religion.
Right. Yeah.
We need that because religion makes us. What is it called?
The Indians, the Native Americans didn't have religion, and yet they enjoyed the passage of time.
Well, they didn't have the definition, but they had it.
Their chief.
Yes.
What the chief said, people follow that.
What
is religion? It's not like you have to have Bible written. It's a culture from ages to age. What the chief said, you couldn't say anything against them.
Because he had all the power.
Right.
Because he was their religion.
Exactly.
And if you look, what praying is, it's to make you feel better. Religion is to make you feel comfortable. You feel better.
You feel confident. You feel happy.
Right.
And then again, we can go and what is happiness? And all those complicated things. But I think you said that beautifully, that what is the meaning of life? To live happily.
Yeah.
And then and you can live happily when you also see everybody else around you is happy. And that's the purpose of religion.
That is
congregation. You all go together, and then the people that knows, people that studies about, then they help us widen our mind, cleanse our mind.
But what happens when that group sees a different group that's still happy? The group's happy, but they don't follow the same rules.
And
they don't. But it's not gonna change in one day.
Right.
Think about it. Some people are born here in Illinois, but there are some people they're born.
It hasn't changed
way
for thousands
in
of years.
Africa.
It has
It's still
changed.
happening.
Yeah, what?
Oh.
It's
Oh,
currently
my gosh.
changing.
No, we're still having wars
Well,
over
yeah,
religion.
because things don't change like that.
It's been since the start of human history.
See,
Since the start of
this is what the
religion-
young minds will say that why
Why
it's
isn't-
taking so
yeah.
long, my friend. The most difficult thing to change is people's culture. Like in Indian people, for example, giving an example, the European people have always criticized India. There are millions of poor people, they don't have, and here, their cows, when they die, they're throwing that. They're not eating their thing.
Because their culture goes against their religion, and they're hard stuck on their religion, so they refuse to change their culture.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say that it goes against the religion, but it's something that they have done for ages. But then, but forget it. What I want to say, I think you hit a very important point. Oh man, how many? This is 2025 and we still, why do we have to follow that? The humanity, it takes ages to even change 0.00001% of that. Because there are people there in our society to protect that.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Because change is uncertain. All that comes up together. And change will take my power away. Change will take my resources away. And change, why should we? This has worked for last 5,000 years. Why do we have to change?
And that scares people. That's why people like Hitler were able to become so powerful.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, this culture that's different than us, these people who are different, the Jews, they're the problem. They're the reason.
But then those same people came and destroyed Hitler. All the Nazis are gone, right? Because the same people that provided that power and support to Hitler, and he was probably not the only bad guy. There was the whole thing, Mussolini and all those kind of things. I don't know much about it, but the same people, and I see the same thing in America. It's basically, let's say, the white people rule the whole, America, and then it started in colony. The ships came from Europe. Before that, there are disease and there are no resources, there are no medicine and all of that. These people, they finally, you can say that, they kill all the native Indians and all, but these are the people also protected them. These are the people also made constitution to protect them. And the same thing all over the world, you see that,
But they did it to protect themselves.
Well,
it didn't protect anybody else.
That is debatable.
Well, it didn't include blacks. It didn't include women. It really, at the time, the only people who could vote were people that owned land, the wealthy, so it didn't protect the poor.
You're 100% right in that. But anytime you change humanity, you have to leave something off of the table. Otherwise, who will accept it? Okay, so when they wrote the Constitution, if they said, the black will have the same diversity, that what we call today.
Yeah, then the six states wouldn't have signed on.
They will not accept it, and then they will not have the power. You think Lincoln would have been able to do this civil war and change this thing if and do you think that he didn't know that he should have included? He knew it very well, but he also was smart enough to know that this is how the Congress, they passes a law. They have to, it's a progression. They have to do slowly. If you put all the problems that we have, why we have like Republicans and Democrats, two different parties, totally against each other, even though if you separate them from the party, they agree on the same thing.
Right.
They all know that they have to help our people.
Yep.
They have to make sure that we have to, make sure that our people have things to eat.
I disagree with that. I think their only cares to help themselves.
That's what we think, but they do.
It
is who those
So
people.
in Vietnam,
Yeah.
this is I think this completely struck that down. So in Vietnam, I can't remember exactly, but a new rifle was created. This rifle was made by a different company than the rifle we were already buying our production from, okay? And this other company we were in contract with, they were also supplying us with helicopters and just basically everything. So we're in contract with this company.
Yeah.
But over here, it is a by the books better gun. It's been tested side by side, proven that what this company was making is better. And at the time that this was happening, so many reports were coming out of people in Vietnam, U.S. soldiers in Vietnam. So many bodies were found next to jammed rifles because the rifles that we were buying from were lower quality, and we knew that. But we didn't change.
Yeah.
So
And
how many?
Why didn't we change?
Because money. Because
No.
they didn't know. They didn't care about the people dying.
That's-
They cared about money.
Because
Yes.
some powerful group of people created that, and they wanted to make money.
And that's the
And
good
at that
ruling us right
time-
now.
And at that time, we common people,
We wouldn't agree with
politics,
that.
We didn't understand a lot of things.
Well, the thing is those decisions were made from people in power. If the people of America knew the facts about that, they would disagree. They would want to put the right gun and shoot. The people of America didn't want the war anyway.
Well-
So it's a certain group
Yeah.
of people who get more power that make these big changes that cause all these negative things and all these positive things.
You know, even today, 2025, you think we make a decision? No.
No.
People that we elect,
Yes.
they sit there drinking and
And they don't-
and living
Yeah.
in luxury. They are the one making the
Right.
And they don't make decisions that benefit us. That's
Right,
what I'm
right.
trying to say.
Yeah,
They make
yeah.
Well,
decisions.
they do.
No, they make decisions that
Well,
benefit their special interest
No,
groups. They make
no.
they make decisions.
Yes,
based
you're
on
right.
Who's
You're right.
giving
But
them
Prasanta
money.
is also right in this. They do make decisions
They
that
make
benefit
decision
us.
let's say for all the laws that they are passing,
If
it's
they-
for greater cause. It's for more people. It probably help 3 people and unhurt 1 people.
Right,
Are
right.
we,
Something
are we,
like
have
that.
we, what benefit do we have to constantly being spied on, to constantly being listened to?
Well, the thing is
What's that benefit?
Is yes, they make
That's
these,
why they're changing it. That's why this.
What-
TikTok
what-
thing, they're changing because they're spying
they're
us,
doing that
right?
because that's a foreign nation doing it. It's bad when a foreign nation does it, but our own nation can do it. What's the difference? We're the biggest hypocrites in the world.
Oh,
yes, but also it's not the people; it's the people in power. If it was the
That's
people,
what I'm saying. The people in power don't do anything to benefit
But they
the
do.
people that don't have power.
Yes, they do.
maybe the bare minimum.
But-
Yes.
The bare minimum to
But
keep the people satisfied.
fundamentally, their job is to do things to benefit us.
right?
Like you think anytime you listen to those our congressmen or senators or president, they always say American people. Everything they say in the name. So fundamentally, that is still for the greater benefit of us,
But
the common
actions,
people.
actions speak.
Always.
Actions
Always.
speak way louder than words.
And
And what
why-
have their actions benefited us? Did the action of refusing to buy these rifles because we would have lost money benefit all the people that died in Vietnam?
You are absolutely. I'm not.
Did the action of lying about weapons of mass destruction and sending all these U.S. soldiers to start forever wars where people were dying still last year, did that benefit anybody living in the United States of America, or did that benefit anybody but who was on the top and made millions of billions of dollars from
Those
it?
5 people that became billionaire, that's what they benefited, right? Because they had the power, they had an upper hand.
Yeah.
But I still believe in the laws, our fundamental laws, and the human laws, and the human resources, and all out there. Because these people that we elect and send it to they make those decisions, but most of the decisions that they make, to be honest, is for the greater good. And here, and I say that more because I have seen the whole world. I know how those policies are made. In some countries, at first glance, you will say that this is bad. And they are created for bad because this is just for that ruling party make a decision. They hardly will think about. But in the U.S., they are still, we have good, our First Amendment rights, and
which is being taken away all the time, which is being attempted to be taken
yeah,
away.
but also,
So is the Second Amendment, so is the Fourth Amendment, the right to privacy. We are constantly being spied. These people are doing nothing but taking away our constitutional amendments.
they are, but they will never take away our rights. They've never been able to. There will always be revolution when it comes to that our
I think
existential survival.
That's why there's such a strong push to ban guns. What has any dictator? Every dictator's first step is to disarm the people.
Well, because again, who rules? It depends on the party.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's like the culture. Nolan said this. When a Democrat is in office, counterculture becomes main culture. And then the main culture becomes counterculture. When Trump becomes in office, it switches every time.
Here is the deal. Whether it is Trump or Biden, all these demigods do the same thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Because they want their party to rule.
Yeah.
Their party to
They want
You're
more
agreeing
power.
with
the
me.
laws.
You're agree. So
I
they're not
am.
going to do anything that benefits the people. They're going to do everything that benefits their
Well, they
party.
do
But
just
they-
enough so we don't
Who
outrage.
are those parties? Is some of the people.
I think they're owned by
right
the.
now we have 78 million people that follow Trump.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the same way there are probably 70 some million people that follow Biden.
Yeah.
And, so it's the same thing, and these parties cannot do things for them unless they bring the greater public into that. And our public sometimes make mistake, and because you and I we voted, but how many times we tell our congressman or senator this is what we want? Never. Only they will come before election.
Yeah, right.
That's our only way. But I am so proud to be in the US that works. You go to India, they call it world's largest democracy because 1.4 billion people.
No.
Fuck. That's a stupid thing. You have to edit that part, but
I think
No, it's
I
okay.
think it's the I think it's the I think we have such an illusion of freedom that we don't see. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, but
you look at the election of 2000, Bush versus Gore. Something's real suspicious about that, especially with Florida and the
I
recount.
know.
Who was the governor of Florida at
Brad
that time?
County or something?
Yeah, who was the governor of Florida at that time? None other than George Bush's brother,
Right.
Jeb Bush.
Yes.
I mean, remember even
Yeah.
in 2008 when people were taking so many videos of voting machines, they clicked on who was it, McCain or something? They would constantly be clicking.
That
on
was a
McCain.
good man, though.
I'm not saying anything about the man. I'm saying they were constantly clicking on McCain, but
And
the
then it
machine
would
would always
switch.
register for Obama.
Right. No, John McCain is a man that I respect from my heart.
Mm-hmm.
He did not play party. He played what is right thing to do for
That-
the people.
That's what we need.
And he,
But that is what is decreasing. But here is the thing.
Mhm.
Before something good happens, things had to always go down.
Yep.
And this is what I'm thinking. Now people are arguing, our people are too partisan, this party A, B, and they hate each other, they kill each other, he is good, she is bad, and all this thing. We need some of that thing to happen to hit the rock bottom.
Right.
That's only you can go up.
Yeah, you need.
US always has done that. In
Yeah.
every aspect you see that. Okay, who did the nuclear bomb? First the US did it for Japan. And who?
German scientists.
Of
German
course,
scientists.
of course. But we did the Eisenhower and all these
Yeah.
people.
We actually
So
performed.
who in the world now are totally against the weapons of mass destruction?
how
It's
did it-
American people.
What benefit did people get from atomic bombs?
Well, because you just wipe it out the whole population.
That
With the
sounds
minimum-
like that sounds like
minimum
a pretty
effort.
big
It's
negative.
it's only a positive to people in power.
course.
Yeah.
Of
So
course,
then
yeah,
why?
yeah, it's-
So then why'd they build the bombs?
Because they can.
Because
They don't care about the people.
Yeah.
no, they care about people. They care about our people, but they wanted to teach them a lesson. You touch my skin, and I'm going to wipe it out. It's a human bad habit.
Yeah.
Everything happens because of our emotional feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that we should get rid of our emotion because that also keeps us in a good side.
That makes
I
us
mean,
human as well.
Exactly. So, so all this, I know people, I went to, for my PhD, I started in Japan. I visited a community, and they still have that disease from the nuclear thing that people.
Why is so much money going to these foreign nations, going to Israel, going to Ukraine, going to all these other nations by, who's allowing that? Congress. Like the whole of Congress has to approve those spending bills. The House of Representatives, the people we elect, has to pass those spending bans. The budget has to get, checked through them. Yet, all the people here, people are starving, people are homeless, people are drug addicts, people that can't afford any food. Yet we're giving all this money to, again, approved by the House of Representatives, the 435 people, elect, not 430. Is it?
Yeah, 535.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
A large number.
Our total number of congressmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are they approving those when, what benefit does anybody get from us sending money to Ukraine?
Okay. With my limited knowledge, let me explain that. And I don't want you to accept either. When I came to first America, I always thought, what the hell is wrong with American politicians? Here we have students, because I knew that people in the rural areas, they cannot go to college. They cannot pay the tuition. Their parents work. Their parents fought for the country. They're fighting in Vietnam. They're fighting in all these things. And where else? These people, they cannot send their kids to school out there. And they are spending, I got millions of dollars from U.S. Department of State to go and help Africa. And I said, what is this? As I slowly became a little bit of, understanding and part, I understood that those are also activities you need to give an impression to the world that you are the most powerful country. And that helps. Okay, you might say, what does it have? We don't care if we save this so many $1 billion. If we, let's say, if every few months the Congress approves $1 billion, we give it to each of our 50 states, we can make our states much better, right? But then, who will respect us?
So how many children are you willing to starve to death for us to look powerful? How many American lives is it worth for us to look? What is it more important for us to look powerful, or is it more important for us to take care of our people?
Both. I think first, American government always wants to take care of the people. That's why I think we have the SNAP program.
That's what puts money in the American government's. That's what gives them power, is keeping the public decently happy.
Exactly. Let me tell you, I think American government does a lot. And not that they are solving all of our problems.
It's a lot easier to look at the negative than the positive as well.
Right. But I think the U.S. government, if they don't do anything for us, public, like you, they will not be elected. That's the way we kept our democracy, that you don't do anything, you don't represent thing, you are not moving. In 2 years, you'll not be a congressman or you'll not be a senator. But there again, not all the congressmen, they have been lifetime congressmen, they are doing any damn good shit for us. That's where the policies and the group and the diversity and the race and all these things play a big role, because if you're from that particular community, you don't have to even go there, show your face, you'll be elected. Right. It has happened every part of the world, but I think mostly in the US that thing has happened. So the bottom line, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
I think, because I have seen definitely more countries, I have lived many years, although I almost died 3 weeks ago. US still is one of the very best places to live, and US also gives you a lot of inspiration and a lot of motivation to do good. And that's what, a lot of good things start in the US.
Can I rebut that?
Sure.
Then why do so many US citizens want to kill themselves?
Oh, that is everywhere. You just don't hear that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they kill themselves because it's a mental trouble, right?
Yeah.
Because they feel something bad about themselves, something wrong about themselves, and we are not able to give them the medical support that they deserve.
Yeah, I don't think you can say a nation's great when you have I think it's 7 men or it's some extreme number every minute kill themselves. But I don't think that can happen in a country that every minute 10 men are killing themselves. I don't think you can say it's a great
I came
nation.
to this country 35 years ago, 1988 now, more than that. Nobody at that time, and I have always been in the universities, I deal with all the young people. No, the mental health was not even a word in the dictionary. If anybody said that Nolan has a mental issue, it's like a degrading the family.
Yeah, right.
It's taboo.
Yeah, it's
taboo,
nasty.
and the people is, "Ooh, stay away from that kid."
Yeah.
No, look at that in 30 years to move that thing from where it was, from totally what is it, a thing that people don't want to even accept or talk about it. Now it is becoming an issue. Even the politicians, their children are suffering, and then we have made a big way to get there. And 350 million people, and the problems, the mental health problem, there is no one set of problems. There are many, especially look at our veterans.
Yeah.
They go and, they...
And what do we do for them? We just let them go homeless.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That breaks my heart, that those who defended us, and then we don't do anything.
Government doesn't even care about them.
They do.
And
they do care. That's how we have all these hospitals, and they have created. But we don't have enough resources to take care of everything for everyone.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't believe that.
You can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
Never in a million years.
I think when you have such a huge homeless problem, and once you have such a huge suicide problem, and such a huge depression problem, such a huge overweight, obesity problem, you don't spend trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and
in
trillions
the
and
war,
trillions of dollars
right?
in
I
foreign
agree.
countries.
Yeah.
If they really cared about us, they'd be spending it on the people.
Right. But here is the deal. I want each and every young American to be proud of being American. You know why? Nobody else does as much as America does it for its own citizen and for people our next door. Could be Canada, Mexico, could be in Ghana, Africa, could be in India.
What about
could
all
be
the
China.
families we bombed in Afghanistan?
Well, that is, there are other factors there, because again, when we said that, it's the power.
And the factors were built on lies.
And unfortunately, that's going to happen.
Those happen in politics.
Regardless.
They have done that. Regardless, whoever party does that, they will all, Cuba or all those other, I don't go that far. I just think of, my goodness, Mexico is our poor neighbor, and they are right next door. And still, you go to Mexico, they're so poor. They struggle for food, medicine. How is this possible? But this is what it is.
You have someone like Biden and someone like Kamala representing about half the nation, right? Representing the whole Democratic Party, and they're saying we want open borders. They're saying Kamala Harris back in 2020. Please come, bring everybody. We want everybody across the border.
And what do the people think? What do the citizens of America think? That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So
then why'd they do it? Were they so dumb they didn't realize it was a bad idea?
Apparently it is. It's their political motto.
Yeah.
It's their slogan.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanted support from certain groups of people out there.
And they were willing.
They were not wise enough to think that how that is going to.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you could say a politician's so stupid. I don't think you can say someone that became the president of the United States is so dumb. He doesn't realize that having no borders.
Well, what is the
idea.
difference between stupid and dumb? It's the same thing. We
Same
said the same thing,
Yeah.
right? It is people sometimes they say that when the power overtakes your emotions,
Yeah.
then you start saying stupid thing. And not everybody is dumb. Those people are not dumb. They have served in many other roles. They have graduated from college or high school, and so. But then when their emotions take over, their power takes over the emotion, whatever you want to say, then we characterize them as dumb or inconsiderate.
But really, they're just misled.
Yes. And those people, here is what I'm also thinking, sometimes, either party, they may not believe that by themselves, but they say that to gain the vote.
Yes.
It's a lie.
Right.
And 99% of the politicians in the world, they are liars. That's what we need to change. Here is my right now, as a innocent citizen, what I think, this journalists and the media need to be totally
uprooted.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
Because they mislead us.
Yep.
They think the media think that we are all dumb. They tell us everything.
Well, like you said, you take a dip before you can climb back up.
It will, it will. There, I have seen that in other examples, but US is at that stage right now.
Right.
I think good things are gonna happen.
And that's just how history goes, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
But
if the history is not rewritten,
right. But we'll close.
We'll by the victors.
What is that? I was telling someone why we still hear about Hitler and Nazis. Why the Germans haven't rewritten, saying that Hitler did the best thing?
Because they didn't win.
They haven't done it.
They didn't have the pencil.
I love Germans. Germany and their education, and in a beautiful way, they could have changed the whole Hitler saga.
Yeah.
And how many years it takes people to one generation, right?
Right.
But they haven't done that.
Well, you could also say they didn't really have the opportunity since, directly after World War II.
Why not? Or what opportunity is a created thing? They could have created that.
Germany wasn't really a nation. Germany wasn't Germany anymore after World War II.
Right,
the East was controlled by the Soviet Union, and the West was controlled by the Allied power. So again, Germany didn't get to rewrite history. If Germany won, you'd never hear anything about the Holocaust. You'd never hear anything about Hitler being bad.
$5 million and find one stupid journalist to write a new history.
Yeah.
But the people did not let that happen.
True.
The Germans did not let that happen. That's why I love German people. And they feel ashamed of what Hitler has done. So they are, not many countries are ashamed of what their leaders have done. British have done a lot of damage.
Yeah.
They are not, they're not ashamed. They're always proud of that. I mean, I love British, but they have done a lot of damage in the world. They have done a lot of damage to themselves. If you watch the British show, my gosh, everybody had an extramarital affairs, all those powerful people.
But you can say that's because the only person that's written Britain's history is Britain.
Yeah.
Germany didn't get to write Germany's history after World War II.
That's very true. That's very true. But I think, but I still respect those German people.
Yeah.
For that they wanted to stay at genuine. What is truth? It should stay as truth for the rest of our centuries.
To recognize bad habits or things you do bad in life, you have to acknowledge that you've done a bad thing to fix and properly move away from that.
Right.
Which is huge. Like that's what the Germans did. They acknowledged this was terrible. Let's acknowledge that this is terrible and let's do better.
And that has done much better thing to the world.
Yeah.
Now, people didn't know about the Jewish people, and commonly they suffered, how many million of them they died, but I think today the world is better for them.
Yeah.
Today the world has accepted them as, they're just like you and I.
Yeah.
Nobody has the right to kill them or punish them or anything. If Hitler didn't do that,
the Muslim countries that were forced into having Israel exist would completely disagree with that.
Of course they do. But again,
and Muslims are becoming the majority. Like the majority of the world is becoming Muslim.
Well, Yeah, that's what the history tells us. That the data says, but I don't know who is putting the data together again. So, and whatever they think or they do, that is not the common. The humanity doesn't think that way. You cannot get rid of our own brothers and sisters. We all have to live together.
Yeah.
The world is always a better place. What our school teachers in the primary school, the world is a better place when you all work together.
Yeah.
When you love each other. It's so true. That's the universal truth.
Yes.
That's the universal. We have to work together. We have to love our neighbor. We have to love our people. And we have to deserve the same thing for them what we want in our life.
Yes.
What do you do with the people that just refuse to do that?
Only time. It's only time that we will be able to overpower them. And history has shown us that.
Yes. And we really need to, I think, not forget about history because it will repeat itself.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And even if today is a perfect world, everything, no bad thing, all your congressmen that we just elected a month ago, they're out there.
Yep.
They will always do bad things. And the reason they do bad things because the circumstances and the situations make them do something not so good.
Yeah.
But there are reasons, and those only they can explain, those who are knowledgeable about the whole politics. I don't know, because I took a training. It's a 3-week, 1 week in Kansas City, another week in Indianapolis, and another week in Washington, D.C. And what that training was about the leadership. And then when we were in Washington, D.C., so each of us became like a political leader. I was the Secretary of Agriculture from Oklahoma. So, and then we have only 1 hour. I got elected, and now I will, in 2 years, Congressman, in 2 years, my power is going to disappear.
Right.
But I have to help the president of my party, and I have to generate enough money. I have to take the big airport money from somewhere from Tennessee to go to go to Washington, to Oklahoma. Otherwise, my constituency are not going to support me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful training, and and there are people that say, "Okay, guys, move. Your time is over. Now you go to the next legislative session," and all of that. It's beautiful. It's called the Landgren University Leadership out there. But I say, my goodness, those things only exist in America.
Yeah.
Nowhere else. People don't even think about that. The common people, someday you will be a politician. How to make you ready for that so that you can do something good.
Right. Well,
so, my friend, America is still the best country. No matter what people say, and we don't have money, we don't help. Still, America does a lot of good things for the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of good things for itself. We still, here, because of that, we were able to talk like that. This is not there anywhere, my friend. You'll be talking like that, somebody in China, they'll be watching, they'll be, oh, what are they talking about? Sorry, I should not mention that. But
well, and that's part of it. It's like we are able to do this and upload it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Where else is that? I mean, there's a lot of other places you can do that, but here it's everyone.
It's everyone.
Anything.
And most people, and it's not only in the U.S., most people on this planet are good people.
Yes,
I tell you that.
I believe that.
There are few not so good people because they're under some certain circumstances.
Right.
Either their family died in a war, or
also,
they have a cancer, they didn't get medicine. Their thought process get twisted. But in general, I have seen poorest of the poor people in Africa, India, South America, in Mexico, and here in Kansas, in Iowa, where I went to school.
Yeah.
These are good people.
Yeah.
They always think positively, and everybody wants to help. And this is more evident through all the religious church groups out there.
Right.
They're good people. They do a lot of good things.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap her up. thank you so much for coming on again.
All right.
Really appreciate it.
Yes,
Had a great talk.
nice.
And I think a closing statement for this whole conversation is just kind of just try to be a good person in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to
And then-
stay good and try to do
Yep.
good, and always.
Help people, do good.
If one person, if another person on this planet of 8 billion people lives happily and eat happily because of you, your life is successful. All you have to think about one person that you can bring smile to their face.
Or you can change their life.
Yeah. Or if they smile means their life is changed.
Right. Yeah. True. But I think it's just be good. Be a
Absolutely.
good person.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Prasanta.
Hey, absolutely. We just talked something very high profile today. But I enjoyed it. It's beautiful. It's like a 3 of all of our efforts.
All right. Peace out, everyone.
How